Nancy and I started our 10-day adventure to Ireland by flying into Dublin and driving a rental car to Galway, Republic of Ireland. We stayed 2 nights here at St. Jude's Lodge. This is the view directly across from St. Jude's Lodge. The two windows, well, that was the room we were assigned. Remember those windows. They will come into play a tad later in our lodging review of St. Jude's Lodge, next on Ireland for Adults.
Welcome to Nancy and Dan Travel. I am Nancy. When it comes to travel, Dan and I focus on relaxing and memorable vacations for adults and multi-generational families. We publish weekly videos mainly showcasing adult vacations to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and cruising. As you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for joining us on our relaxing travel adventures.
Remember to stay to the end of our review, where we reveal our scorecard results from our review of our room and experiences at St. Jude's Lodge in Galway. St. Jude's Lodge is located here at 24 College Road. Look closely at the map. College Road is a very busy street as it is an artery to and from the city center. From Galway Guesthouse's website, St. Jude's Lodge is a bed and breakfast, quote, offering high quality accommodation at excellent prices, unquote. It continues to state that it is, quote, situated at the center of Galway City, unquote. To us, now that we have been to Galway, the city center would have been, to us, on the streets surrounding Ayers Square, not a 10-minute walk from it. The website continues to say that, quote, the Greyhound racetrack is across the road, unquote. As you saw in the opening, it is not, which is good, as we would not want to stay there if it was. The Greyhound racetrack was just a little down the road. Other B&Bs are literally, quote, across the road, unquote. It has parking in the front and the back. As you saw, most of the parking spots were full up during our stay. We were assigned a room facing College Road. The room itself was clean, with night tables, lamps, and electrical outlets on both sides, which is great. There was a second bed that we used for our suitcases and to organize ourselves, as well as a table, chair, and lamp at the foot of this second bed. You can see from inside our room the two windows with the shades pulled down here. These were the only forms of ventilation that we could find in our room. The pillows and bed were very hard, and we could not get comfortable. And it was very warm with no air conditioning in our room, so we needed to have the windows open at night. But remember our room's location, right out on the very busy College Road, where throughout the night we heard both cars and buses going up and down the road, as well as patrons of the local pubs in the city center area talking about the fine time they had that evening. The rooms are not well soundproofed. As I heard someone who was in the room above us or on either side, I could not tell, snoring throughout the night, on both nights. We did not sleep well. The bathroom was mostly functional. Sure, they did not replace the empty box of tissue paper when they serviced our room after our first night. Notice the hygiene products on the wall of the shower. Or should I say the hygiene product singular. We couldn't tell if the one-wall dispenser contained body wash, shampoo, conditioner, or one containing all three. It wasn't great. It may have been the same liquid that was in the similar container on the wall by the sink. Then there was the drainage in the shower. Extremely poor, as we are trying to show here in the pictures. Breakfast. We could not film the breakfast area because it was very small, dare I say cramped, for the number of cars in front and back parking lots, which was an indication of how many guests were staying there. And at any times throughout our stay, there were always folks sitting there. Trying to get some food from the buffet area or the refrigerator and then back to one's table was interesting, as there was only room enough for one-way traffic at best. The food itself was fair. It was filling, but not tasty. The bangers always seemed to have been out for a while, same with the Sunnyside eggs. The staff tried their best, but neither breakfast was what we would call relaxing and memorable. And now for our scorecard review of St. Jude's Lodge Bed and Breakfast in Galway, Republic of Ireland. Location. While the website took liberties, we'll give them a pass because we were able to walk on the very narrow sidewalks on the busy College Road, yet do note that those with mobility issues will likely not be able to do so in our opinion. Cleanliness. Our room, shower accepted, was clean. No bed bugs or creepy crawlies that we saw in the building itself or in our room. Our room, no. The shower stall drainage, the hygiene product they're in, the lack of noticeable ventilation, the constant noise from needing both windows open at night onto busy College Road, the paper-thin walls, the rock-hard bed and pillow, no. As mentioned earlier, we did not enjoy our breakfast on either morning. Value, most definitely not. Our room cost us approximately US dollars $243 per night, by far the most expensive of any of the 4 lodgings where we stayed during our trip. St. Jude's Lodge approach seemed to be to cram as many people as it could fit into their rooms and charge them absolutely as much as possible, with a primary goal of blatantly making as much money as possible without regard for guest comfort. We hope to return to Galway, and if we are privileged to do so, we will not be returning to St. Jude's Lodge.
Nancy and I hope you enjoyed this video. Here are 2 more videos of our travel adventures to watch. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And lastly, my email is in the description below. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.